His pain, yes.
So why we're better than you?
Why we're better than you?
Why we get laid more than you?
It's because we're white, tall, and handsome.
Yep.
Huh? And you have no chance.
And huge dicks.
Well, mine's massive. Yours is okay.
Yes.
Mine's all right.
Both in the frame.
Yep. All right, good. Okay. Both in the frame we fit, unlike the building behind us. Okay. Anyways, so Avery, tell your joke. Say it. Perform, monkey. Dance. Dance like the puppet you are.
So.
Dance. Puppet dance.
Wait.
Actually,
Interesting start. Yeah.
I don't know. This is gonna be in the bloopers. All right.
This will be our best video yet. Yeah.
Yeah, this is gonna be the one that makes us famous. I hope not. Please, mother, don't see this. All right.
My mom watches my videos, and she subscribed to my email list, so she sees the titles like "How I Used This Sneaky Trick to Get Laid Last Night."
Well, I'm actually mad at how real you are with your mom, and I still have like a barrier up between me and my mom. My mom still thinks like she still holds on to the dream that one day I would be Tony Robbins. So
oh,
like,
my mom does too.
Yeah, I'm like,
she's
Mom.
like, well, someday you're gonna go into general self-help or something, right?
And then I can start bragging about you in your work. Now she can't brag about me yet. She's like,
Wants to be able to tell her friends.
He does YouTube stuff.
What kind of YouTube stuff? I don't, it's kind of personal. So what was the topic? We had a topic.
Oh yeah. So okay. So why we're better than you guys? All right. So first and foremost, yes, all the excuses you're making for why you can't get good at this in the comments in every fucking video
are true.
They're all true. Okay. You can't get laid and you can't get good at this because you're ugly.
Not possible.
Because you're short.
Look
you have
at
a
us.
small dick.
Now look at you.
It's your race. That's what really matters. It's your race. Mm-hmm. It all matters.
We're white.
Mm-hmm.
We're both 6'4". Mm-hmm. We're Chads, obviously.
Yep.
I mean, look at that hair. Look at that hairstyle.
It doesn't look like a mop.
It doesn't look like a mop. We were gifted. We're in the best country.
We're better in every way. So where you are flawed, we are perfect in every which way. We didn't have to work at this whatsoever, ever. Mm-hmm. We didn't go out for like 5+ years, almost like me, but us like a decade, I guess you'd say. Like
I
combined
wasn't
like 20
a
years.
virgin when I was 19, and the few girls that I went on a date with all rejected me because of how awkward I was. That did not happen.
We didn't focus on exactly what was going to, like, we didn't focus on those things that made us bad at this. And instead, we focused on, well, actually, I was going to say the opposite. Now I'm actually saying what you should be focusing on. So I'm messing this up. So I'm just going to jump into it. Generally, you guys are focusing on things that are stopping you from being good with girls. Like, straight up. You guys are like, why are the reasons that I can't get good at this? And it's because you guys don't invest and also lose. You guys are afraid of losing at all. And the whole thing is that you should be losing if you guys actually want to improve in this. Like, you guys are focusing on, like, the fact that you're a certain race, that you're a certain height, that you have a certain dick size. Literally, my last boot camp, I had 2 girls who said that wasn't their type because I was white. And you know what I did? I just like cockied my way through it and then asking me for my number anyways. Like, so you guys are looking at all the reasons, and girls don't even give a fuck about that shit. They give a fuck if you're a loser.
Some do, but those girls are not the girls you want because those girls are extremely shallow and not cool. Well, like the girls like, I will never date whatever X race. Okay, well that's not very open-minded, right? Do you want that girl? Do you really want that girl?
It's an ego. It's like when you start saying something for a long enough period of time, it's like, this is who I am. I'm this person, and you identify with that. So the idea is that you get playful, and then you joke about it, and you make the opposite joke. Like, so, I mean, I had it 2 times last boot camp where a girl's like, oh, I'm usually into black guys. I'm like, an extremely handsome white guys. And the girl was like, I'll make an exception. So, I mean, it can work on occasion, but at the same time, too, I agree with you. A person that says shit like that, generally speaking, they don't have very good self-awareness, and it's not usually the person you want to be dating. I mean, maybe like having a one-night stand with, which is, something we do not condone. We're about, healthy relationships and getting single.
Finding marriage, finding your wife.
Yeah, not having sex.
Family.
Yeah, no, having more than 7 sexual partners.
Only in the missionary position. That's the only way to do it.
With eye contact. Until
for
you
the
love
sake
her.
of reproduction. That's the goal.
Yeah.
That's what this channel's about. Christian friendly.
Here come the cops. Okay, no, they're continuing.
The cops are after you again.
Yeah. Keep moving along because we're bad. You don't want to deal with this motherfucker. Fucking pig. It's okay.
Yeah,
he's out of earshot, so I can say this without still sounding badass.
So I had a client the other week who was below average height. He was in decent shape, balding, Indian. A lot of guys who are Indian think that you can't get white girls or you can't get girls in America if you're Indian. He was. Did I mention bald? Also, his face, like, it wasn't like an unattractive. He didn't have he wasn't Nostradamus or something, but he wasn't the best looking guy by society's standards. And guess what? He got laid twice on the boot camp. He pulled 2 different girls within 3 days and had sex with them. Whereas the average guy, even a lot of good-looking guys that we've had on boot camp, some of them don't get laid at all. There's a bug.
No, don't tell me that. Is it a big bug?
Yeah, it looks poisonous.
It looks poisonous.
Yeah, you're fucked.
Oh, I got a little
We've had clients. You had a client the other week, really good-looking dude, who managed to
Well,
almost
all the guys who follow my YouTube channel are hot. It's just like a byproduct.
Did you say hot? That might have been the wrong word choice.
No, it's okay. No, it's not wrong. It's not the wrong word choice. They are hot.
Hot guys watch
all
my
you guys
channel.
who watch my shit. Only attractive guys watch my YouTube channel. All right, continue.
I get the frame there, yeah. Therefore, if you watch his videos, you are attractive. Hey, that's a good, positive belief.
No, it's true.
But he did have a client who was he was 6'3", very muscular, a very good-looking guy by society standards. He was that stereotypical Chad. And I watched this guy going out and approaching and getting rejected again and again and again. It's because his energy was off.
Yeah.
His energy was off. He didn't have any excuses, so he was willing to try. But his energy was off, and every girl rejected him. I saw it with my own 2 eyes. And then I see the guy who has all of these excuses end up getting laid twice on the boot camp. Yes, I'm not saying height doesn't, he might say that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying height doesn't matter. I'm not saying looks don't matter. I think they play a role.
Yeah.
But the role is not nearly as big as you think it is. It's just one of 1,000 factors.
Well, I have a really good way of explaining this now.
Let's hear
So
it.
I've had this conversation with too many people, and so this is the way that I describe it. So if you have nothing else going for you, honestly, yes, your height's gonna matter. Yes, this is gonna matter. And yes, if you do find that rare guy that has everything working for him, and then he still is making all these excuses for his shit, guess what? He's probably going to, God damn it, you're playing with me here. All right, so if you're going through all,
Feds.
well, it is. That's a undercover.
Nope. No G.
No, it is. He has lights in his grill.
Yeah, but you have to have a G on the license
Do you?
plate. Yeah.
So he just has lights like that
yeah,
randomly?
you can't be completely undercover. That's not legal.
Okay, here, back to the subject at hand before I got distracted by cops like I classically do.
Sorry.
All right. So if you don't have anything else going for you, yes, that's probably gonna be a big factor. If you're not cool, if you're not fun to talk to, and the only thing you have going for you is your looks, yes, a girl's sometimes gonna get an ego about it, want to date a guy that's more attractive. Because she's gonna choose the guy that has no game, that has no looks, or the guy that has game, has proof from society that he's allowed to act a certain way. Yes, of course. Now, I'll put it this way. With you guys that are, see, I sort of told you. So if I told you guys, I'm gonna take a second on this actually. I'm gonna cut this whole part out, me freaking out. He was just more scoping
Just
us.
embrace it.
Yeah.
He's not scoping us. He's just looking for a parking spot.
Okay, all right, you're right. Okay, so back to me not freaking about cups. All right, so I'll put it this way. If you have nothing else going for you, yes, looks are going to matter. Yes, all this shit's going to matter, but you should focus on that which you have control over. So let's say hypothetically that my whole theory on this is wrong. Is it going to help you out to worry about it? No, of course not. If you're worrying about it, you're freaking out about it, and you're putting all your attention on this, you focus on that which makes you stronger, not that which makes you weaker. You guys are focusing on all the reasons why you can instead of all the reasons why you can. So what's going to happen is instead of putting all your mental RAM into an area, so if you were a computer, let's say hypothetically you're a computer and you had to figure out this massive equation, are you going to look at all the reasons why you can never figure out this equation, or are you going to look at all the variables? You should be looking at the fucking variables. So you guys are even if it does matter, it doesn't help to actually care about it. It helps to actually look at the reasons why what the ways that you can move this and control and change it. So hypothetically, if you can't become more charismatic and becoming more charismatic doesn't make you more attractive, then why don't you focus on fashion? Why don't you focus on fashion? Why don't you focus on working out? Why don't you eat healthier? Why don't you try to work on the way you look?
How many
general?
of the guys that say, "Oh, it's my looks"? How many of those guys, and they've been complaining about it for years? How many of those guys are hitting how many of them are hitting the gym and they've maxed out their physique and they've got a $100 haircut? None. They've got they put together well. They've maxed those things that they think they can control. And how many of them haven't even done that? They're fat slobs or they're super skinny. They haven't even tried, and they're just using that as something to hold on to as an excuse.
Exactly. Well, that's what I've been getting. So the reason that I get all right. So we're not tall guys, okay? We're not tall. No offense, Avery. Well, maybe you might be a little taller.
I mean, slightly above average.
So I'm a short guy, okay? So if anybody asks, I'm a short guy.
4'7".
Yeah, but if you're asking that kind of stuff in the comments, you're asking because you're looking for the reasons why you can't. If you're asking for my age, you're looking for reasons why you can't. If you're you guys can be a little bit ridiculous with this when it comes down to that kind of stuff. You guys should be focusing not on that on why you can't. You should be focusing on why you can. If you're like putting your energy there, guess what? Energy, focus goes, energy flows. You're gonna put your energy somewhere where you are not actually growing and evolving. You're putting some energy somewhere where you're actually gonna go downhill and depreciate in value.
Sometimes I'll put an infield out that has like, oh, now the cops are after us. Now
Yeah.
I'm starting to think it. That'll have like 100 different lenses. Oh, he is stopping for us.
Yeah.
Let's see what he wants to say.
So yeah, so called that too. It's because we're doing it in front of a Capitol building.
Is it? What's up?
Okay.
How's it going? Y'all doing all right?
Yeah.
Today, and it's like,
Oh, is there? Okay.
well, it's not now.
Okay.
Should we move further away from the building?
We're on high alert right now. So,
Oh, high alert. Oh, good to know.
but y'all take care.
Thank you. Have a good one.
I appreciate it.
It's nice.
Yeah, that's sweet. That made me actually feel a lot better about this. Okay. All right, well, dope.
So I put out an infield the other day that had like 100 different lessons you could learn from it in terms of how to pick up girls. And one guy, his one comment was, "How tall are you?" Right? And I'll get that a lot, like, how tall are you? That's the one thing out of all the things you could take from the video. It's like, well, is he past a certain height and therefore I couldn't do it? Right? That's the whole mindset. That could be a part of your question, but that was the one thing that was interesting to you about it. That's the one thing your mind honed in on is, oh, he looks taller than me. Yeah. He looks taller than me. I had one client who was 5'4", 5'4", and I have a testimonial, maybe I'll send you the text if I can find it, but he got laid, it was either 3 or 4 times in 1 week. 3 or 4 times in 1 week. And by his own standards, he said they were all hot. Hot girls, 4 times in 1 week, 5'4".
The guys that did best on your boot camp versus the ones that did best on mine. So I had 2 really good looking guys. The ones that actually got laid and the ones that had the best results were the short guys. The ones that did the best on your boot camp were like the guy with the mohawk, the guy that was like a little bit overweight, the guy that was like your boot camp, I think almost your entire boot camp pulled last week.
Not the entire one, but a good amount.
Good amount.
There was one where it was 2 out of 3, yeah.
Yeah, like the guy that pulled, one of the guys, he was like, he was a short Asian guy. He pulled immediately off the boot camp. The other guy was like 5'9", white guy with glasses, kind of dweeby looking. He pulled immediately. He actually was barely on the boot camp. He kept pulling so much.
Well, I think it's because the guys that look like that but are still willing to take a boot camp, they don't have big egos.
Yeah.
Right? They don't have a big ego because they're willing to think, well, I'm not the best looking by society standards, but I still think I can figure this out. They don't have a big ego. They're willing to put in effort. And so that's why they go hard and they get results and they learn a lot because they take the feedback. The guy who is good looking by society standards thinks, well, I should be able to get laid. I have all these preconceived notions, and they hold themselves back more, and they have more of an ego that makes them it's not as easy to coach sometimes.
Yes. Okay. That makes a lot more sense. Well, that's the perfect way of looking at it too. It's man, these guys know how to get me off my kilter, don't they? They know how to
They're just like surrounding us.
Yeah.
They're just like, there's a lot of police.
They start like kind of unholstering their guns subtly, just like just hanging out. All right. But yeah, you guys put your energy where it actually matters. Like, you guys are focusing on something that's here, I'll grab it. You guys are focusing on something that's actually pushing you further and further away from actually helping you out. So looks don't matter. And I say that because every other guy out there sucks. All right, so let's say hypothetically that nobody's practicing basketball ever. All right, then there's like a Michael Jordan guy who's like, oh, I've never practiced basketball in my life. Then you get a 5'4" guy, but he practices basketball every day. That guy's gonna crush that Michael Jordan version, because he actually has a skill set. Nobody ever practices this. So even if it did matter, which it doesn't, you guys are focusing on something that is not helping you out. So you're looking for reasons why you shouldn't actually practice or put in the effort to improve.
See,
and guess what? Now you suck at this.
I have a slightly different frame of mind with that. Because looks don't matter. I think what that could do for people is they hear that and it's like, well, it doesn't matter at all, and that's also black and white, right?
Well,
and
that's fair.
I think that's also that's the opposite, and then you think that's disingenuous. You can think, well, of course they matter a little bit, and I think it's like height in basketball. That's an extreme example where clearly height does matter in basketball.
Yeah.
At the top 0.001%, they're almost all tall. There's a couple players that were like 6 feet or below, but they're almost all tall. But let's say we're on an average court, and here they come again. Let's say you're on an average court, like with high schoolers or with just like normal people. Is the guy who put 5 years into practicing, got really fucking good at basketball, they've got all the fundamentals down, their technique is fucking amazing, is he gonna be the star in the team, or is it the tall guy that has no skill?
Yeah.
So when you look at the top 0.0001%, like of guys, like the most optimal thing, yeah, being 6'4", being a super male model, good looking, that might help you get to the top 0.0001%, but who the fuck cares about that? Like, the top 1% is still getting laid all the fucking time.
How many guys do you ever see when we go out approach?
How many times what?
How many times do you ever see a guy go out and approach? Unless they're wasted drunk on drugs.
In the day, not at all. In like last night in Austin, there were a few guys approaching.
This is
I
the
saw a
first
few
time.
guys
This is the
approaching.
first time actually I've ever seen guys approach. But those guys
In
are
Vegas
approaching.
they do.
They were
In the clubs.
and they were also approaching a lot of times girls that were very like horrendous looking. I did see that one group of guys that approached the cute group of girls, but those girls actually approached them too.
Mm-hmm.
In retrospect, I thought they approached them. I was like, oh shit, guys are actually approaching girls, but that wasn't the case. Those girls were approaching guys selling them water bottles. And
Yeah.
so now in retrospect, no guys ever approach. So if no guys ever practicing basketball, and we're the only guys actually practicing basketball, and it's such something that is such a big deal to us men, you know, getting laid and actually having options with women, like there's no competition. So if there's no competition, like what does it matter? Like if there's no nobody's ever practicing, so nobody's ever trying. But I'll put it this way too, it's about status of personality. That makes you more attractive, like by far. If you guys want to know something that makes you attractive, like by far, that makes you way better, go out and game and do a little bit of a split analysis. Tell yourself how good are you doing when you're in your head approaching, and then wait till you're actually in the zone. How well do you do with girls when you're in the zone? It's a completely different thing. And it makes girls either attracted to you or not attracted. It pushes them further or closer away. Your personality actually makes you more attractive. And that's what I'm trying to get at. It's not so much looks. It's not so much this, it's not so much that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's a little bit of cognitive bias. It could totally be. And I actually do think that it does matter to an extent. But believing it doesn't actually help you out in the end. And not to mention that, like, there's just no competition in this. Nobody ever practices. Even guys that do what we do. How many guys that do you know that actually do what we do that are actually good at it? Not to be that
A handful.
Not to be another one of those
I
coaches.
think like 5 to 10 or so.
Yeah, not to be that one coach. Like every coach does this, where they say everybody but us, it sucks.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
It's
I
like-
can name a number that are good, but
Oh, yeah, 110%.
there's a lot more that suck too.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? There's a lot of
Yeah.
coaches, a lot of the biggest ones, they're just watered down, mainstream type advice that they've never approached a girl in their fucking
It's
life.
easy.
They've been married since before they even started doing what they do, you
Yeah.
know? And a lot of times not even to a girl that I'd be, you know. Anyway,
Yeah.
so the other part of it is a lot of these guys, they haven't, like, they're not even thinking, they're thinking, I have to get a 10, right? I have to get a supermodel. And if I'm 5'5", I can't get a Gal Gadot or some shit. You're not even getting cute girls. Do you think you could get a cute girl? Like, you're not getting laid at all. A cute girl would be pretty nice. Like, that'd be a good start, like a 7 out of 10 or something. That'd be better than not getting laid at all.
Yeah.
They're not thinking about that. They're not thinking, well, I could at least get something. Maybe I could get a girl who's like slightly more attractive than me, or a girl. No, they're thinking, if I can't get the perfect 10, if I can't get the supermodel, why even try? What is the point? It's like, go in the right direction. Think about when you can get, then you'll find out, hey, you can get the 7. Then maybe you'll start to believe you can go to the next level after that. More cops swirling around.
Yeah.
But then you can worry about that. Like, why does it have to be perfection or nothing? It's not like, why don't you think, well, could I get any girl?
Yeah.
Right? Start from that frame. Could I get any girl? Because that's better than not
Well,
getting
you
laid
guys-
at all.
You guys are deciding not to play basketball because you're afraid you can't be Michael Jordan. You guys
Exactly.
are like, you guys,
Exactly.
yeah, and it's something that's like, all right,
Why do you need to be Michael Jordan?
yeah, exactly, all right. So you guys are like, I can't be the very, very best, the top 0.001% of this, but there's never going to be any guy in this that's ever going to be that 0.001%.
You don't have to be Michael Jordan to have fun and to win.
You're never going to hit, there's no ceiling for how good you could get at this. I'll say this, I've been doing this I've been approaching now for a decade, and I still haven't hit a ceiling. And I'm still like, I'm actually really mad about how good I am, because I should be way better. In all retrospect, I should have got more coaching myself. But I'll put it this way, there's no ceiling. There's no ceiling that you're ever going to hit. There's no like end to the possibilities of what you can do with this shit. And why am I saying that? Because I still haven't hit a ceiling in 10 years of me doing this. Like, if you continually put pressure on this, keep working on this consistently, there's no ceiling. You're going to continually get better. If you want, your quality of women are going to constantly go up and up and up. And I can say this as a guy who's still not hit a ceiling yet, who's not seen like what I'm capable of.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How many of these guys that complain about how it's their race, looks, whatever, their dick's too small, et cetera, how many of them have a glowing personality where they just exude radical charisma and everywhere they walk, like, it's like, God damn, that guy, he has it. He has the vibe. His energy is perfect. He goes hard, he approaches all the time, he really tries, he puts genuine effort, and yet despite that, he's not getting laid at all.
All of them.
Yeah. How many of them are like
Never.
that? And how many of
Never.
them are like dark energy, like little Sith to be, like little training, Sith in training, like, I can't do it because I'm not. And then they go up to a girl and they're like, hi, how's it going? Oh, see, another one rejected me.
He's lying to me. He's a liar.
It didn't work. I came at them with my dark, weird energy and they didn't like me. I was like, hi. That's what they're usually like.
Yeah.
Get your energy, your charisma to like a 10 out of 10, and then say personality doesn't matter. Then get your game really good, and then say game doesn't matter. You haven't even done anything in that. 99.9% of the people who are in that category haven't genuinely tried at all.
You guys haven't maxed out anything. So you guys are like complaining about the biggest stuff. All right, so hypothetically, this stuff doesn't matter, then why aren't you hitting the gym? So even if this doesn't matter, hitting the gym, doing everything that's gonna help you out, it's gonna make you more confident. Going to make, from my perspective, actually gonna make you better with girls, because it make you more charismatic, because now you're gonna believe in yourself. So why aren't you hitting the gym? Why aren't you working on your style? Why aren't you doing everything that you see? Like, so when I actually for a long time didn't believe this pickup thing would work. So you know what I started doing? I'm like, okay, wait. So what are the tangibles that I believe in that if I were to lean into these will still get me better? I'm like, I could approach more, because through the happenstance of approaching a lot and approaching a ton, then like through the happenstance of doing that, eventually some girls can be like, you know what, you're just my type. Or I'll get like maybe a bunch of ugly girls, and then at least I have that to work with. You guys are not even working on that. You guys aren't working out. You guys aren't hitting the gym. You guys aren't trying to work on your style. You guys are just trying to be negative worms, dark worms that are trying to make excuses. You guys don't understand this. You guys are actually addicted to your negative emotions. Not you specifically. You're beautiful because you watch my channel. But other guys that are making excuses for this, oftentimes they're just looking for reasons to be negative. They don't understand how they're addicted to their negative energy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just had to make sure after like 30 minutes. Not recording. That was all wasted. So that's a good note to end on.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to say is, so if you've been stuck in the mindset of, you know, you're making excuses, you're thinking about the reasons why you can't make this work, and you're not actually going out and trying and approaching, easiest way to get over that is take a boot camp with us, because then you come with us and we take you by the hand and kind of force you to approach. But even the guys with the worst approach anxiety ever, I had a guy last night who hadn't approached in 20 years. Within 10 minutes, he's already starting approaching. So that'll really help shock you into taking action and take things to the next level. We do boot camps on a regular basis in Las Vegas, which is a great fucking city right now for picking up girls, but we're also traveling to the other hotspots. Right now we're in Austin, Texas. We're probably gonna be going to Miami soon again, and I'm thinking Phoenix, because Phoenix opened back up recently.
Phoenix is a great place.
So we're gonna be traveling around the country. If you're serious about like getting out of this complainy worm mindset, that's the easiest way to do that. That's the fastest way to do that. That's what I recommend. So we'll have a link below to both of our like boot camp links, whichever one you think is like, well, whichever one you think is uglier, and therefore, because we're uglier, we must be better because we compensate for our ugliness, right? It's like, so whichever one you think is uglier is the one that you should sign up for that one, and check that out. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you want content that is, you know, genuine and not about like not making you turn into a little like worm, right?
Black
if you want to get out of that mindset.
Red pill, black pill, we're both real. Don't listen to us. Don't listen to us. We're wrong.
Some stuff in the red pill's true. It's just gets so negative.
Well, it's a lot of it's right. It's just like the way they take it, the way they
black and white.
Well, it's like, all right, if you take the energy, take that content, that knowledge, and then try to turn it into positive energy that's actually gonna move you forward. Don't turn it into something that's gonna hold you back. That's what they don't get. They're using that negative energy to hold themselves back. They're like, girls have a limited shelf life. Yeah, but like, what does that help you with? Like, what does that actually, what are you like? It's like these people like who learn all the pickup material in the world and never actually utilize it. How's that helping you?
So one funny thing about the red pill coaches I've noticed, because they're not teaching pickup, but they're teaching dating advice and about attracting women and how to deal with attractive women and stuff. If you look at most of their girlfriends, I don't know how to say this exactly, but they're less attractive than they are. Let me put it that way. Like their girlfriends, of all the red pill coaches I've seen where they have their girlfriend out there somewhere, the girlfriend is almost always less attractive. So that says something's wrong with the red pill when they're like teaching this like, what a badass I am kind of advice. And then you see their girlfriend and she's like less attractive than he is. Well, then what's that advice? Like, is it really working that well?
Yeah.
Anyway, any last thoughts to wrap up the video?
That's pretty much it, to be honest.
Before the feds get us?
Before the feds like surround us and make me shit my pants.
For being near the Capitol, yeah.
All right, so I'll talk to you guys later. With that being said, peace out.
Boom. How long is that?
I'm in your head.